Okay, Be'ezrat Hashem, we're ready to start Daf Ayin Het. The Gemara was discussing yesterday. The Gemara was discussing how big, how much of a, which Ever are we talking about when the Mishnah says Shemen Kedei Lasuch Bo Ever Katan? Rabbi Yanai said that it's Ever Katan Shel Katan Ben Yomo, the small joint of a Katan who's a day old. Then the Gemara wanted to quote a Braita to say it's Mahloket Tanaim, and now the Gemara has a different way. The letter of Rabbi Yanai. We could have an answer that both rabbis in the Braita don't hold to Rabbi Yanai. V'achi b'hacha b'haka miflegi. Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar savar Ever Katan de Gadol. Ve'ever gadol de katan ben yomo ki adadininu. He says either ever, the lashon of the Braita is kedei lasuch ever katan ve'katan ben yomo. So what that would mean is Rabbi Shimon holds ever katan de gadol, the small joint of a big person. Ve'ever gadol de katan ben yomo, and a big joint of a baby. Ki adadininu are the same. Rabbi Natan savar. Rabbi Natan says it's not the same. And the shiur is ever katan de gadol, the small joint of a big person. That's the shiur. Ever gadol de katan, the big joint of a baby. Ben yomo, 1 day old. Lo, but nobody holds that the shiur is the small joint of a baby. The Gemara says, "My have Allah." What's the maskana of that halacha? Ta shema de Tanya. I have a beraita. Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar Omer, Shemen. How much oil is it? Kedei lasuch ever katan shel katan ben yomo. Beferush, shemen enough to make the small joint of a small baby ben yomo. Rabbi Yanai Tanaei. Rabbi Yanai is mahloket Tanaim between Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar and Rabbi Natan. If Rabbi Yanai held like Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar, it seems to be that's the halacha. Ma'im, water, kedei lashuf be'emet hakilor. In order to dissolve, in order to make the kilor, which is like an eye medicine with it. So Abai is going to analyze the Mishnah. Amar Abai mechti, kol milta deshchicha velo shchicha, azur rabanan batar deshchicha. Anything which has a shchicha use, a common use, velo shchicha, and an uncommon use, azur rabanan batar deshchicha. The rabbis chose the amount for the more common use. Lekula, even if it's more lenient, meaning it's a bigger shiur. Shchicha v'shchicha. But if it has two uses, one is common and one is not, azur rabanan batar deshchicha lehumra. So then, since they're both common, they follow the one that's more prevalent to be mahmir, meaning to make a smaller amount. Yain, by wine. Shtiyato shchicha. Drinking of the wine is common. Refuato, to use it for making medicine, lo shchicha, is not common. Each item, you look at the uses. Let's say it has two uses. Let's say an item has two uses. Let's see Rashi. Kol sheshiyaru chachamim le'inyan Shabbat. Everything that the chachamim estimated they use for Shabbat. Vehu ra'ui l'shnei devarim. You can use it for two things. Hada shchicha. One is common. Ve'hada lo shachicha. One is not common. Azur rabbanan b'shi'urin. The rabbis, when they said the shi'ur, batar de shchicha, they went for the common thing. Va'afilu hi kula. Even if that's lenient. Sheshi'ura gadol. That it's a bigger shi'ur, so that's lenient. Amrinan stameh leha'avid. We could assume it's for this. V'lo amrinan, and we don't say ho'il v'hazinami lemilta achriti. Since you can use it for something else. Sheshi'ura katan, that has a smaller amount. Nezil batrei lehumra. Let's be mahmir with the smaller amount. V'afalpi d'lo shchicha. No. If one is shachiach and one is not shachiach, we went with the shachiach even if it's mekil.
But the oil is more shachiach to eat it or to like it.
Refulati. Yain, shchicha v'shchicha. Rashi. Check. Shchicha v'shchicha. Ve'hecha d'shchichi tarvayo. If they're both common, azlinan lechumra u'misha'arinan b'shi'ur azuta. I don't think if one is 5 times a week and one is 7 times a week that they're going to go with the 7. That's called shchicha. It's not 5 and 6.
No, I'm saying oil you have the uses for lighting, you have the uses for eating.
And they smear with it also. Okay. Shchicha v'shchicha. Okay. Yain shetiyato shchicha. They drink it all the time. Refuato lo shchicha. For example, Rashi kegon lashuf bo kilor, to mix the kilor with it. V'avagav de hazile, even though it could be used for it. The ika da'avid b'halavisha. Some people use woman's milk. V'ika da'abid b'maya. Some people use water. V'hasin alayayin. But the reason is because they don't want to waste wine. Shedamav yikarim. It's expensive. Hilkach, therefore, azul batar shtiyato. They follow the drinking. V'shi'uro b'chdei mizigat kos. Enough to put in a cup. V'afagav delikula. Even though it's more lenient. Sheyesh kan shi'ur gadol. It's a bigger amount. V'chen halav. Also milk nami. Hazi la'achila. You could eat it. V'lashuf kilor. And you can also make kilor with it. Umiu lo shchicha. Sharei afamayim ru'yim lekach. Why would you use milk if you can use water? V'yesh osim mimayim. Some do from water. Hilkach azur banan batar achilato. V'shi'uro b'chdei gimi'ah. V'afal gav de kulahi. Even though it's more lenient, it's bigger. So let's see. Again, Amar Abaye, Mechdi, kol milta de shchicha v'lo shchicha. Anytime there's 2 uses. One is common, one is less common. Azur banan batar de shchicha. They follow the common one. Lekula, even though it's more lenient, it's a bigger amount. Shchicha v'shchicha, if they're both common. Azur banan batar de shchicha lechumra. They follow the common one that's more mahmir. Yain, why shtiyato shchicha, drinking is common. Refuato, using it for refuah lo shchicha. Azur banan batar shtiyato de shchicha. They follow the drinking, which is more common. Lekula, to be lenient, to say it's enough to drink a rov harvi'it as opposed to the amount to make the eye medicine. Halav, milk. Achilato shchicha. The eating is common. Refuato, using it for medicine, lo shchicha. Azur banan batar achilato lekula. They follow the eating to be mekel, and the shiur is kedei gimi'ah. Devash, honey, achilato shchicha, refuato shchicha. If you had, you know, for you think how many horses could you have? That was like cars by them. Everybody had a horse, right? Devash, achilato shchicha. People eat it. Refuato shchicha. You need it for medicine on the camels, also shachiach. Azura banan batar refuato lechumra. So they follow the refuah, which is much bigger humra, because it's just enough to put on the bruise. Elamayim, water, mechti. Shtiyato shchicha. Drinking it is common. Refuato lo shchicha. It's not common to mix it with medicine. Mai ta'ama azura banan batur refuato lechumra. Why do they follow the refuah lechumra? Rashi says refuato lo shchicha. She'ar mashkin re'uyim lekach. You could use the other items for that. You can use other liquids. V'shtiyato shchicha. And the drinking is common. Shirov shtiyat mayim hem. Most drinking is water. She'en adam shotei yain l'chol tzima'av. You don't drink wine whenever you're thirsty. Kim l'seudato. Only during a meal you drink it. It settles the food. So my ta'ama azur banan batar refuato. Why did they follow the refuah? Says lechumra amar Abaye beglila shanu. The Mishnah is in the Galil. Why in the Galil? They're cheapskates in the Galil. Rashi. Shehen aniyim. They're poor. Umakpidim b'davar mu'at. V'hasin al yain v'halav. They won't mix wine or milk. Lashuf kilor, to mix the kilor. Ve'en shafin ela b'mayim. They only do it with water. Hilkach refuato nami shchicha. The refuah is common. Uba'inan lemezal lechumra. We have to be mahmir. So according to Abaye, every place where they're not so poor, then the refuah is shachiach. And then the refuah is not shachiach because they use the other things for it, and therefore it would be a bigger shiur. The shiur would be revi'it.
What you mean? Somebody that was sick and
they mix. It's eye medicine. Rava Amar, afilu tema b'sha'ar mikomot. Even in other places, Kid Shmuel. Even though you could use it, they don't. Like Shmuel, the Amar Shmuel, kol shakyanem, all drinks that you put in the eye medicine, masu, they heal the eye, umetaleleh, but they also put a shadow, like a sail. They put a shadow in the eye because they leave like a film. Lebar mimaya, except for water, the masu. When you mix it in the eye medicine, it heals velo metaleleh, and it doesn't leave a shadow. So therefore, water is the best. So they're both considered common. Okay. Tanu Rabbanan, v'shar kol ha'mashkim b'rvi'it. All other liquids, revi'it. Tanu Rabbanan, dam, blood, v'kol minei mashkim, and all other liquids, all other drinks, b'rvi'it. The shi'ur is revi'it. Who's drinking blood? What are you using it for? If it's refu'ah, it should be the shi'ur of refu'ah. Fish blood you could drink. I mean, who drinks it? You know anyone drinks it? I don't know. Tanu Rabbanan dam. V'kol she'ar minei mashkin. All the rest of the drinks b'rvi'it. Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar omer dam kedei lechol be'ayin echat. Enough to put in one eye. Sheken kochlin lebarkit. They what's it called? They use blood for barkit. Rashi says a barkit is like a maila sheboletet ba'ayin. I think it's like a sty. A sty maybe. Right? Sheken kochlin lebarkit. Mainihu, what kind of blood do you use for that? Dama de tarnegolet bara. The blood of a wild chicken. Not a house chicken, but a wild chicken. So what? Regular blood is birvi'it. I still don't know what you're using it for. And if you get blood of this wild chicken, that blood is enough to put in an eye. Rashbag Omer, dam kedei lechol bo ayin achat, blood for one eye, sheken kochlin li yarud. They do it for a yarud. Now yarud is some other type of eye item. Rashi says tevalul. Ubetosefta ra'iti lechorer. Vehen tipot dakot shel loven anoladot be'ayin. Little white floaters in the eye. Kedidnam bibchorot gabe mumin. They have like white spots on the eye. Yeah, what do we got there, Rami? Floaters, that's what it is? Right. So he says, Tosfot disagrees. Tosfot says, En nireh liri lefaresh dahainu tebalul, tebetosefta katani behach milta gufa shekochlim lechorer, ubechorot hashiv tevalul vechoror. Alma tevalul lavainu horor. What is it? Tosfot's not telling us. Anyway, what kind of blood did they use for horer, for yarud, umayniu? Dama de krustina. Rashi says it's a bat. Atalef, a bat. Vesimanecha. A mole. What? Yarud is a mole?
The blood of a mole.
A mole. Rashi says it's atalef. Atalef. I think atalef is a bat. Rashi. Dama atalef shekorin talfa.
wild תרנגול, כותב שזה דחיפה. דחיפת איזה ציפור טמא, is still allowed to use it?
Yeah, why not? You're not eating it.
You might drink that.
How about you
I assume so, but maybe not. Maybe you just bloodlet it. So the Gemara says, "V'simanech." If you want to remember which type of blood for which type of item, geveh legeveh, bara lebara. Geveh, the bats that are inside the house, legeveh, for the inside one. Bara, the outside one, lebara, for an outside one. Bamed varim amurim. Albert, see who this is. Bamed varim amurim. When is that? What?
This is the opposite of what we said.
What?
Moles are found within human habitats, thus they refer to as hidden creatures.
Right. That's what I said.
Krushkina is identified with either the domestic hen or the bat.
Okay, either it's a bat or whatever it is. Geveh legeveh. The bat is indoors, so it's for the thing that's in the eye. That's the floaters. The bara, the outside one, is the chicken, the duchifat, and that's for the sty, which is on the outside of the eye.
And this is teaching us what? What are these?
No, that's why you need kedei lechol ayin ahat. Just to remember what type of medicine to use. But the main point is that you need blood. Blood is enough for one. What's it called? Now it gets complicated. When are we saying that what's it called? That you hayav on these shiurim b'motzi if you're carrying. Aval b'matzniya, but if you hit it, kol shehu, any amount, kol shehu hayav. Rabbi Shimon says b'med varim amurim b'matzniya. Aval b'motzi eno hayav ela b'rvi'it. Omodim hachamim l'Rabbi Shimon. The hachamim agreed to Rabbi Shimon. B'motzi shofchim l'rshut rabim. If you carry bilge water to the rshut rabim, sheshiuram b'rvi'it, the shiur is rvi'it. Amar mor, we said, b'med varim amurim b'motzi if you carry. Aval b'matzniya if you hide it, kol shu. Atu matzniya lav motzi. But the guy hiding it, if he doesn't carry it, he doesn't do anything. So we're talking about carrying. So what do you say? B'med varim shelo etzniya, aval etzniya yet. Amar Abaya, hacha b'may askinan. Betalmid, she'amar lo rabbo, lech upeneh li hamakom leseuda. Go clear the place for me. Go clear the place. Halach upanalo davar hashuv. Panalo. He went, he cleared it. Davar hashuv lakol. Something that everybody thinks is hashuv. Hayav alei is chayav. That's b'med varim amurim b'motzi davar hashuv lakol. Davar she'eno hashuv lakol. Something that's not hashuv for everybody. If the Rabbi put it aside, this is going to Rabbi Shimon. Mehayev aleh, he's chayav on it. Ve'ilo lo mehayev. That's the mahloket. Meaning, according to the Tana Kama, b'med varim amurim b'matzniya. If he hit it, aval b'mot. Let's see Rashi. Amar Abaye. Hacha betalmid doesn't mean a student of the Rabbi. Kigon shule de nagri, he's an apprentice. She'amar lo rabbo, he's an apprentice for, let's say, a carpenter. Lechu paneli amakom, go clear the area. Davar shehashuv lakol mehayev aleh. Something that everybody finds important is chayav. Afal gav de lo atznei rabbi letzurko, even though the master didn't put it away. Davar she'eno hashuv lekol, something that not everybody says is important. If his Rabbi put it away, he's chayav. Achi kamar b'med varim amurim deba'in and shiura de hashiv. When do you need a hashuv shiur? B'motzi. Kilomar b'davar she'en lecha lelech bo ela har hotza'ato shel zeh. Something that there's no reason to take a different shiur. You follow what he carried. Shamachshava tiluya bezeh she'otzi. The machshava depends on the guy carrying it. Aval b'matzniya. But if he hit it, the davar sheyesh lecha lelecha har machshava shel matzniya. When you're going to follow the machshava of the person who hit it, kigon hamatzniya kol shehu. If he puts aside any amount, hayav zeh motzi. V'Rashba Amara. It's Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar talking. Maybe the whole Braita. Ve'azil ta'ameh. He's following his opinion. The Amar bePirkin Dil El. He said in the end of the last perek. Davar she'en matzniim kamohu. Something that most people don't put aside. But this guy decided to put it away. I'm hayab because you thought of it. So therefore, the Rebbe, because the master put it away, even the Talmid is hayab for carrying it. Because it's chashuv for his Rebbe.
You said that by anybody, no?
And a chinami. It's just a common case. Vuadin. We could have said it's talking about the guy that hit it himself. When he carries it himself. If he himself hit it, and he carried it hayav. So why don't we say it's talking about himself? Of course, we know Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar says, the Amar nithayev zeh b'machashavto shel zeh, that we know he holds that other people are hayav. Ukme Abaye afilu be'acher shotzio. Abaye says it's talking even if someone else took it outside. Rashi didn't explain what the mahloket is. If you go back, there's two parts to the Braita. B'medvarim amurim b'motzi, if you carry. Aval b'matzniya, if you hit it, kol shu hayav. So that's easy, no? Rabbi Shimon omer b'medvarim amurim b'matzniya. Aval b'motzi, eno hayav ela birvi'it. L'chaura, that's the same thing. Are they arguing? And the Gemara didn't explain anything. They clearly argue. Modim chachamim l'Rabbi Shimon. So someone's arguing with him. Why didn't the Gemara explain the mahloket? Or that is the mahloket. The mahloket is Talmid she'amar lo rabo lechu paneli hamakom le'seudah. Halachu pana lo davar hashuv lakol hayav ale. Davar yatznei rabbe mehayev. That's according to the Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar. And the Chachamim argue, but Rashi doesn't say that out. Yes. No. The rabbi told the student. It's not the rabbi. It's like the master and the apprentice. Rashi says it's Shulia Denagre. It's the carpenter's apprentice. But even so, Rashi doesn't explain. He doesn't explain the mahloket. I don't know. I have to look into it. Let's see a little further. Meaning, I think you could explain it, but I just don't see how Rashi or Tosfot are doing it. Rabbeinu Hananel says it like that. If you have Rabbeinu Hananel on the side, I don't know if everybody has it. Ve'okimna l'Rabbi Shimon. They're explaining Rabbi Shimon. That's the key line. Be'talmid she'amar lo rabbo lechu paneli makom le'seudah. Go clearly a place for the seudah. Ve'halach upina kol ma shaya sham. He went and he cleared out everything that was there. Ve'tzni'o, and he put it away. Ubar Rabbo b'Shabbat, and the Rebbe came on Shabbat, v'hotzi, and he carried kol ma she'tzni'a lo talmido, whatever the student put away. That's different pshat. Emotzi arav davar shu hashuv lakol. If he put something that everybody has important, kishiurim alalu areu hayav. V'motzi arav davar she'enu hashuv lakol. Upichet min shiurim, he had less than shiurim. Iluhu be'atzmo hitzni'an, if he would have put it away, hayav alav bekol shehu. He's hayav in anything. Aval talmido hitzni'o. Since the apprentice put it away, upichetu min shiurim alalu, when it's less than these shiurim, motzio patur, the guy that carries that is patur, because he's not hayav for the student's machshava. What? It sounds like ve'motzim min hamashkin ma shelo utzna eno hayav ela bervi'it shenimtza divrei Rabbi Shimon she'amar lo ne'emru kol hashurim al matzni'ahem is lemi shehitzni'am lo. Everybody's talking about a case where the student, where the apprentice put the stuff. Actually, no. Rashi learns that the master told him to put it away before Shabbat. And the question is the student, no, on Shabbat, whatever, the student carried the stuff out on Shabbat. And the question is the student hayav with the machshava of the Rebbe? And Rabbeinu Hananel is learning the opposite. But I'm very mixed up. I can't tell you what they mean.
That's from Rabbi Haber that says before Shabbat, and the Rabbi came on Shabbat, so it's hashuv to him, and he took it out.
Where's the article? Let's see what the article has to say. Hey, the English. You're not happy with the article today. Let's see. $30. Rashi is talking about the Tanakama. Again, let's see it again. Let's see. B'medvarim amurim b'motzi. If you carry a regular amount, matzniya. If someone hit it, kol shu hayav. Okay. That's not so complicated. Okay. Rashi learns the Tanakama is Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar. Let's start again. B'medvarim amurim b'motzi. When do we say you hayav if you carry it regular? Aval b'matzniya, but if somebody hit it, either the student or the Rebbe himself, kol shu hayav hayav on any amount. Rabbi Shimon says, b'med varim amurim, this what we say, the smaller amounts, is b'matzniya with the guy that hit it. Aval b'motzi, but somebody that carries it out without hiding it, eno hayav ela b'revi'it. The truth is, it's very simple. This is the same mahloket that we had in the Mishnah. If you look at the end of the Mishnah, Mishnah says, "V'kol hashofchim bervi'it." Rabbi Shimon omer kulam bervi'it. Every liquid is revi'it. V'lo ne'emru kol hashiurim halalu ela lamatzniyahem. All these shiurim were only said for the people that hide them. So that's what's happening over here. B'med varim amurim b'motzi. When are you hayav on these things? Only when you carry it without hiding. Aval b'matzniya, if somebody hit it, kol shu, any amount is hayav. Rabbi Shimon says, b'med varim amurim, when are you hayav? B'matzniya. These shiurim, the small shiurim, the eye medicine, the kilor, whatever the devash, is only if you hit it. Aval b'motzi, if you carry it without hiding, eno hayav ela matzniya. You only hayav only if you hit it for that. But if not, everything is revi'it. Umodim chachamim l'Rabbi Shimon b'motzi shofchim l'rshut rabim Nobody hides it, even if you hide that there is no smaller shiur el b'rvi'it. Amar mor b'med dvarim b'motzi, avol b'matzniya kol shehu. Matzniya, the Gemara is just bothered technically. What's matzniya? Hare you carrying? So we say, atu matzniya lo motzi. He's also carrying the matzniya. Amar Abaya hacha b'ma yaskina b'talmid she'amar lo rabo lechu paneli amakom lesuuda. Halachu panalo davar hashuv. If he put it lakol, if it's something that everybody carries, chayav ilaveh. Davar she'enu hashuv lakol. Let's say he took off from the table something that's not hashuv. If it was hidden, meaning the Rebbe hid it before, mechayev ilaveh. Ve'ilo lo mechayev, and if not, he's not hayav. That's like Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar, who said, "Nitchayev zeh b'machashavto shel zeh." That was the braita we had on the top over there. Okay. Amar Mor, we said, Modim Chachamim l'Rabbi Shimon b'motzi shofchim. The Chachamim agreed to Rabbi Shimon. If somebody carries shofchim, it's a bilge water that was used, you already washed the dishes with it. L'rshut Rabim, sheshiuram b'rvi'i, that the shi'uz b'rvi'i. Shofchim l'may hazu. What are you going to use such water for? You can't drink it. You're not putting it in the eye medicine. Hopefully you're not taking a shower with it. L'may hazu. Amar Rabbi Yirmiyah legabel bahem et atid. Use it to make cement. What do you care if the water for the cement is clean or not? V'hatanya, didn't we learn? Tit kedei la'asot bahem bo pikur. Tit, and how much tit do you have to carry to be hayav? Enough to make a pikur. Enough to make the opening of a little oven or something, right? So it's a tiny amount. Pikur shel sorfei zav, if I'm not mistaken, right? So it's a small amount. Rashi, pikur nekev shenotnim bo hamafuach v'shiura zutahu. They have an oven. They want to put the mafuach is the bellows. It has like a little opening like this. So you want to. There's a bigger hole. You put a little teeth and you leave a hole like that. And it's a small amount. So I don't need a revi'it of water to mix that much teeth. So why if the point of the shofchim is to make teeth, and the shi'ur of teeth, which is hashuv, is small, why do I need a revi'it for that? It should be half a revi'it or a quarter of a revi'it. Lo kasha. Had the mikveil, had the lo mikveil. If it was already needed, if you already made the teeth, how much teeth is hashuv? Enough to make the pikur. But the lo mikveil, to go need teeth, nobody needs teeth just for that. It's too small an amount. Lefi she'en adam toreach legabel teeth la'asot pikur. You don't make teeth, you don't get teeth from somewhere else with it. You make a bigger amount. So the water for the teeth is only a revi'it. It's carrying, but you're not hayav. Just like you're not hayav, you're not allowed to eat tarif any amount. You're not hayav a malkut unless you ate a kazai. The same thing over here. You're not allowed to carry any amount. You're not hayav unless you carry a significant amount. Hamotzi hevel, Mishnah. Somebody carries string, kedei la'asot ozen lekupa, enough to make a handle for a box, for a basket. Gemi is like a reed that they use all sorts of. They use it as a fiber. Kedei la'asot telai lenapa ulekevara, enough to make a hook to hang a sifter or some other type calendar. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, kedei litol mimenu midat min al lekatan. You want to know what size shoe to tell the shoemaker to make for your kid. So you take a gemi, you measure his foot, you cut it, you take it to the guy, and you show him he needs a shoe this big. Old-fashioned. They didn't have that the Braxton thing, right? Niyar, paper, kedei lechtov alav kesher mochsin, enough to write a receipt of the tax collector. Look in Rashi. Yesh lecha adam shenoten hameches lerosh hanahar b'makom echad. He pays the tax collector in one place. O mohelu b'matana. Or he's friendly with the tax collector and he lets him go. V'hu mosel lo chotam. And he gives him a seal leharot lemoches, to show the rest of the collectors shemahal lo hameches, that he forgave him the tax. ודרכו לכתוב בו שתי אותיות. They put two letters on it. והם גדולות מאותיות שלנו. They usually make them a little bit bigger. Okay, so it's bigger than just two letters. והמוציא קשר מוחסים, if you carry this tax stamp, חייב, he's חייב. נייר מחוק, erased paper, רש"י. שוב אין רואי לכתוב. You can't really write anything important. לפיכך צריך שיעור גדול. You need a bigger thing לכרוך על פי צלוחית. So that כדי לכרוך על צלוחית קטן של פלייתון. We had the צלוחית של פלייתון, a little perfume jar that the ladies carry to smell good. So to wrap it in paper, it shouldn't break. Or is leather. כדי לעשות קמיע. Enough to make a קמיע. I think it means to make like the case for the קמיע. Cloth of a that you write a sefer on. Now there's cloth, there's gvil, and there's duxustus.
What do you mean?
Those are three things.
Different layers.
Gvil is the whole what's it called? Gvil is the whole skin after it's made into what's it called? Cloth is you split it in half. You split it in half. And the side that's closer to the hair is called cloth, and the side that's closer to the skin, if I'm not mistaken, is called duxustus. Yeah, but they take it out. Cloth, כדי לכתוב עליו פרשה קטנה שבתפילין. They write the smallest parasha of the tefillin. There's 4 parashiyot. The smallest one is Shehi Shema Yisrael. Rashi. Lav כדי לכתוב פרשה קטנה. The idea that amav yikarim, it's expensive. Lo avdi mine kishre mochsin. They don't waste it on the tax collector thing. Ela tefillin umezuzot. And therefore lo mechayev b'shiur azuta. You won't be hayav in a small amount. Dio כדי לכתוב bet otiyot. Enough to write 2 letters. Rashi. לרושם על שתי חוליות של כלי או כרשים לזווגם. They needed to write 2 letters to show that these 2 pieces go together. Not a lot of ink. Kehol, that's the blue stuff that they put in the eyes, like as medicine. Kedei lechol ayin achat, in order to color one eye. Now, you look strange if you color one eye. Devek is glue. Kedei litem berosh hakashaf. The Gemara is going to explain. It's like a bird trap. Zefet v'gofri, tar and pitch, kedei la'asot nekev sha'ava, kedei liten al pi nekev katan. Oh, sorry. Zefet v'gofri, kedei la'asot nekev, enough to make a hole. So Rashi explains, kli shenodnim bo kesef hai. They have a little jug that they put mercury in it. That's called kesef hai. It's like, they used to call it liquid silver. So it's a liquid. It will drip out. So that sotem piv bezefet. You close the opening with pitch or tar or bigofri. Venotem betoch hastima nekev katan. And then you make a little pinhole in it. Leotzibo. And when you want some, you shake it out. We wouldn't know. We're afraid of mercury. Right? How about it? That's how they made this. Harsit is crushed bricks. כדי לעשות פיקור של צורפי זהב. To make the, again, like we said about the teeth. They make a pikur, they make the opening where you put in the bellows for the tanur of tzorfei zahav, the one that they used to make gold, which is a little bit smaller probably. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, כדי לעשות תתפות. Enough to make like the leg of an oven. רגל למקום מושב הכור, שהיו מושיבים על כאן, on a little stand הנעשה לכך, כגון tripod, like a 3-foot thing, לשבות הגדרה. Tripod. Tripod. Yeah.
Tripod.
3 feet. Very good. כדי לעשות, okay. Subin, brain, כדי ליתן על פי כור של צורפי זהב. Nobody ate brain. To put on the mouth of the kur of the people that they purify the gold. Rashi says, b'makom she'en pehamim, where they don't get cold, Shorfin zahav, they purify the gold. Be'esh shel subim, by burning grain. I guess burns hot. Seed is plaster. Kedei lasut ketana shebebamot. In those days, instead of using wax to wax legs, they would use seed. They use plaster. Right? So kedei lasut ketana shebebamot, no, in order to plaster her. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, kedei lasot kalkal. Rabbi Nehemiah Omer, kedei lasut hundifi. I think Rashi doesn't say. I think the Gemara is going to explain. But I remember in Difi is like the sideburns. If the sideburns are growing, Gemara later. Yeah. The Gemara explains it later. Michael Kulu Mayin Difi. Tzida ubat tzida. Coming later, okay. It's different cosmetic things that they would use it for. Mahloket, which is the smallest chashuv, waxing. So the Gemara asks, Chevel Nami, why is the string different than the gemi? And they both like fibrous things they use for tying and things like that. Chevel Nami, the string lechayev kedei la'asot v'lai lenapah. It should be hayav enough to make a hook. That's also a good use for string. Why is the string bigger enough to make a handle? So Gemara says, "Kivan de harik b'mana lo avdi inchi." People don't like to use string or rope for that because it's harder and it's rounder. So when it gets pressed, it will make an indentation in the keli. It will ruin it. Masha'en ken gemi is flat and soft; it won't indent it. Tanu Rabbanan, we have a braita. Hutzin, how much hutzin is like the lulav branches? What is it? How much is hayavan? Kedei la'asot ozen, to make like a handle, lisal, for a basket. The baskets were made from like lulav branches or those type of things. So they would take lulav branches and weave them and make a sal. I mean, it is a couple of pieces. Lisal kefifa mitzri. Sieve is the netting that grows. Not netting. It's almost like a fabric that grows around date trees. You ever see that? It's the hairy stuff. You go to Florida, you'll see it grows around. It's like sand. It's like a cloth that grows around the date tree. It's an amazing. You didn't see it in Florida? You saw it.
Rip it off.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing thing. So sieve, how much sieve are you hayav for carrying? Achirim omrim. Achirim say, kedeli ten al pi mashpech katan l'sanen et hayayin. If you have a little funnel, you put sieve on top to use as a filter to catch the shemarim. Revav is grease. Kedei lasuch tachat espagin ketana. In order to put under a little pancake. V'kama shi'ura. How big is the shi'ur of this pancake? Kesela, the size of a sela, size of a coin. Ve'atanya kegrogeret. Didn't we learn that the size of the pancake is a grogeret? Idi v'idi had shi'urah, same shi'ur. The grogeret is pancake is the size of a sela. Muchin is like stuffing. How much stuffed fabric is it? Kedei la'asot kadur katan. I guess their balls were filled with fabric. V'kama shi'uro. What's the smallest ball? Ke'egoz, the size of a walnut. Look in Rashi. Kadur palota. That's in Spanish, a ball, right? Palota. No one speaks Spanish here?
¿Habla español?
Maran calls palota also. Niyar, paper, kedei lechtov alav kesher mochsin. Now we get into tax issues. Tana, we learn kama kesher mochsin. How big? How many? What's on the kesher mochsin? Shete otiyot, 2 letters. Urmin, I'll ask you a question. Hamotzi niyar halak. If you carry blank paper, em yesh bo kedei lechtov shte otiyot. If you have enough to write 2 letters, chayav is chayav. V'im lav, if it doesn't have enough for 2 letters, patur. So what's the problem?
Why are you telling me otiyot? I have to write down. Maybe that is a question.
No. So the Hagahovet Tzionim changes. You have this, there's a parenthesis here. Shtei otiyot shel keter shel kesher muchsin. Meaning Rashi no, because Rashi said otiyot of kesher muchsin, they wrote them a little bit bigger. So that's the question. Tana kama kesher muchsin, shtei otiyot shel kesher muchsin. Not small. Urminhu hamotzin yar halak ilok shtei otiyot hayav emla patur, and didn't say any other type of letters. There's another girsa that says shtei otiyot shel ktav yevani, Greek letters, which are also bigger than Hebrew letters. But either way, it's not regular letters. And then you have a braita that says regular letters. Amar Rav Sheshat, my shtei otiyot shel kesher muchsin. When it says two letters, it meant kesher muchsin, shtei otiyot of kesher muchsin. Doesn't have to say it. Native, it's Rav Amar has a different answer. Shtei otiyot idan, two regular letters. Ubeta hiza, but you need enough room on the kesher muchsin that when you hold it to show it to the guy, he'll see it. So it's the same size. The hainu kesher muchsin, so it comes out to be the size of the kesher muchsin.
The two regular with the space is equal to the kesher muchsin.
What?
The two regular letters with the space that you need to hold it is compared to the
It's the same size as the kesher muchsin. Rashi says that the kesher muchsin doesn't need a margin, the bet achiza. Shu'ahazo kulo bekapo, you put it like this.
And in the second case, you weren't putting it in beer.
Pashut, flat, vero'eh. So how does Rava need a bet? No, you need a bet achiza.
Just to show what's over there, what's writing.
Why does he think you need a bet achiza? So Rashi says, the Tosfot says, ובית אחיזה, בשעת כתיבה צריך בית אחיזה. When you're writing it, you need some place to hold it. A little contradictory, Rashi and Tosfot.
One said to show, one said to write.
Meitive, I'll ask you a question. Hamotzi niyar mahuk, if you carry erased paper, vishtar parua, or a paid note, which also has not much use, im yesh belo vin shelo. If the white unused part has kedei l'chtov shtei otiyot, enough to write two letters, or bekulo, or in the whole thing, kedei l'chroch al pizza lohit katana shel palyaton, enough to wrap on a perfume jar, hayav ve'im lav patur. Bishlama l'Rav Sheshat the Amar Mai shtei otiyot shel kesher muchsin. When it says two letters, it means two muchsin letters. Shapir, it's good. Ela l'Rava the Amar shtei otiyot idan. It's two of our letters. Ubet achiza, and the place to hold it. Dainu kesher muchsin. Hacha, when you're talking about a shtar mahuk, bet achiza lo bai. What do you need a bet achiza? When you're writing, you need a place to hold it. You don't need a place to hold it because you have the mahuk part. Hacha bet achiza lo tzarich. Kasha. Gemara leaves it as a question. They don't have a good answer for Rava. They don't think it's a tiyufta, but they didn't answer it. Tanu Rabbanan, we learned hamotzi kesher mochsin. If somebody carries a kesher mochsin, ad shelo hirau lemoches. Before you showed it to the guy, it's chashuv, chayav. Mishirau lemoches. Once you showed it to the guy, I don't need it anymore. Patur. It lost its importance. It's like yesterday's coupons. They expired yesterday. They're not hashuv. Rabbi Yehuda says, Af misherao lamoches chayav. Even after you showed it to the guy, you chayav. Mepnei shetzarich lo, you still need it. My benayu, what's the difference? Amar Abaya, ike benayu, rehite mochsa. They're arguing. Sometimes you have a place where there's, I don't know exactly how these guys work. Whether they work because they're private or they're paid by the moches. But these are guys that come after you showed it to the guy. They come to double check on you. Make sure you have the ticket. Like the guy on the bus or on the train, that he comes around making sure you have your ticket, right? What? So the question, I don't know, could be there were private guys that would chop you and report you and they got money from the guy, or they were paid by him. So some people, Rashi says some people they hold the ticket to make sure Tanakam, the Rabbi Yehuda holds you hold the ticket till you get past these nudniks. And the Tanakama holds, you throw it away. If the nudniks come, so you go all the way back to the guy and he tells him no, he paid.
And what will this happen about? Shabbat?
Rashi, no. In general, is it hashuv to people or not? Yeah. Rehite mochza. Kurnash. Shiratzina hara ovrim laha'alila lehem. To report them. Shelo nanu ameches. V'torach le'ovrim lahzol le'muches. It's hard to go back to the guy. Umatzniya hotam. He hides it laharot le'elu. The Tanakama says, lo matznalu la'achi. They don't, it's not common enough. They go back to the guy. Okay. Rava Amar, moches gadol u'moches katan ika benayhu. Rashi, pe'amim sheyesh moches gadol. There's a big guy, shetorach lo la'amod al gesher. He's making too much money. He doesn't want to stand on the bridge. Umemaneh moches katan. He puts in a smaller guy. V'zeh mitchila enu mareach hotam shel melech. He has a king's pass ela legadol to the big guy. U'Rabbi Yehuda tzarich lo. He still needs it. Sharei katan yimna'enu. The small guy is going to stop him. U'Tana kama en tzarich lo. Shagadol moseh lo siman dvarim. The gadol gives him the secret password. And he tells him what to tell the guy. Tell him blue. Today's password is blue, and you go by. It's hard to understand what they're arguing about. But they're arguing b'mtziut if he does it or not, or if he's somech on the password. It's not so clear. Rav Ashi Amar had moches ika benayu. Even the same guy, bepeneh shetzarich lo, he needs it laharot la moches sheni to show the second moches, the Amar le hazeh gavra de moches ana. When he comes to the second place, he doesn't have to pay taxes there. He already paid the first one. But he shows it to him to show, look, I paid the last taxes. So this way the guy sees he's an honest guy. He's next time he comes by, he's not going to look for trouble for him. He's just going to let him go. Rashi, le moches sheni shel ma'avar acher. It's a different bridge. He's not to get out of meches. Maybe he got rid of the merchandise or whatever. To show he's a tax-paying guy. So they shouldn't make trouble with him next time or another time or whatever. Tanu Rabbanan. If you carry a bill. No, shtar chov is a promissory note, right? It has witnesses that you owe money. Ad shelo pera'o, before you paid it, hayav, because it's important. Before the guy paid it, you want to collect the money. Misha pera'o, once the guy paid it, patur, who needs it? Rabbi Yehuda says, af misha pera'o hayav, even after you paid it, you hayav. Mepeneh shetzarich lo, because you need it. My benayu, what are they arguing about? Amar Rav Yosef, asur l'shaot shtar parua ike benayu. The mahloket is, are you allowed to keep a paid note in your house? Maybe you go take payment again. Rabbanan Savri, the rabbis hold, asur l'shaot shtar parua. You're not allowed to keep a paid note in your house, because you might collect with it again. Al tashkem ba'olech avla. So therefore, you're not allowed to keep it, you're not allowed to use it, it's not worth anything. Rabbi Yehuda savar mutar l'shaot shtar parua. You're allowed to keep a paid note. Why? The guy knows he paid. We don't think, we're not hoshesh you're going to collect with it again. Abaya Amar, the kule alma, everybody agrees, asur l'shaot shtar parua. You're not allowed to keep a paid note. והכה במודה בשטר שכתבו שצריך לקיימו כמפלגי. תנא קמא סבר מודה בשטר שכתבו צריך לקיימו. רבי יהודה סבר מודה בשטר שכתבו אין צריך לקיימו. ומאי עד שלא פרעו או מי שפרעו, עד שאומר לו ופרעתי ולא פרעתי. Meaning, there's a mahloket like this. Let's say you have a shtar. It has edim. In order, normally, every guy that has a shtar, that you present the shtar, he has the right to claim, this is a forgery. I don't recognize these edim. Okay, well, you signed it yourself. Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. How do I know who these guys are? Right? So he says, Mizuyaf. Then, you have to bring the witnesses to say, no, this is our signature. Now that it's validated shtar, you can collect with it. Let's say the guy that you take out the shtar on, he says, no. I recognize the signatures. I admit that I signed, but I paid it already. So do you say that he's ne'eman? We believe him. Why? Rashi says, pesha asar pesha etir. Without me, you couldn't collect. I could have told you this is Mickey and Minnie Mouse. Right? Because I could have, if I wanted not to pay, if I was lying, I would have said that.
Nobody knows you have witnesses.
Now that I say that I paid it, believe me, because without me admitting that I wrote it, you couldn't collect payment anyway. You have a migu.
But he could. If somebody say he did, he could collect payment.
He doesn't have witnesses yet. Right now, before you have witnesses,
Why would he tell the truth?
right now, before you have witnesses, believe me that I paid. Because if I was lying, I would have said that these are not witnesses. If I just wanted not to pay, that's one opinion. The other opinion is no, he doesn't have the guts to tell the guy that he didn't borrow. So I'd rather say it's pays. Migu daza. So that's the machlok here. Machlok is like this. Misha pera'o means, Misha pera'o is if the guy says pera'o, that he paid, if the guy says that he paid, right? If the guy says that he paid, if you hold modeh b'shtar sheketavo, en tzarich lekayemo, you don't have to uphold it. So even though the guy said paid, you need it. Why? Because you could get him to pay. We don't trust him to say. We don't believe him in the migu. That's Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda says we don't believe him with the migu. Since we don't believe him with the migu, he's going to have to pay. So you need it. The Chachamim say, Tanna Kama says no. Modeh b'shtar sheketavo, en tzarich lekayemo. 1 second. The Tanna Kama Rabbi Yehuda says modeh b'shtar sheketavo, en tzarich lekayemo. So you need it. You could use it. You could still. He's not believed to say parati. The Tanna Kama says he's believed to say parati. So once he says parati, he says I paid, and you don't have edim on the shtar. You don't have edim to be mekayemet. There's nothing to do with it. You're never going to get payment from it. So it's garbage. Tosafot says it's talking. Not only is talking that the guy says that he already paid it, and therefore he's not going to pay it, but it's also talking that you know that you don't, the witnesses, you don't have anybody that can recognize the signatures. Because in that, if I know I'll go to the witnesses. This guy's lying, I'll go get the guys that signed. They're dead, they're not here, nobody knows their signatures. It was 2 chapim guys that you found in China. But if you, so therefore there's nothing to do with it. What?